Good evening people, we are in the middle of lockdown and this is not an off-roading video or a music cover. Since I'm a teacher by profession, I need to make sure I help my students. So this is a math tutorial video. I'll be discussing chapter 6, which is in page 110, and the chapter's name is Compound Interest and Uniform Rate of Increase or Decrease. It's a very easy chapter. You just need to remember this particular formula. A equals to P, and under the bracket we have 1 plus minus R by 100, and the bracket closes to the power T, where A stands for amount, P for principal, T for time, and R for rate. Okay, let's be precise. We have a plus sign and a minus sign. When do we use? Plus for increase, minus for decrease. Listen to the examples which I'm giving right now. Let us go back to the year 2000. The number of mobile phone users were very less. And let's come to 2020. The number of mobile phone users are more. So it has increased over the year. That's when we use a plus sign. Let's go to minus sign. Let us say a person weighs 85 kg and he starts exercising. And let us say after 3 months his weight decreases to 60 kg. So the person was 85 kg in the beginning and now his weight is decreased to 60 kg after 3 months. So that's when we use a negative sign. Okay, some note or some important factors that we need to remember. For this particular chapter, amount can be less. Again, I'm repeating this. For this particular chapter, amount can be less than the principal. Till now, we were dealing with cash or money. So, in those situations, amount will always be more than the principal. But for this particular chapter, amount can be less than the principal depending on the situation, because we are not dealing with cash. We are dealing with real life scenarios in this particular chapter. So just put this thing in your head that amount can be less than the principal only and only for this particular chapter because it is a real life situation. Okay, now next thing that you need to note is if you are talking of past, let's say words like before and was, we need to find principal. And if you are talking about future, like words like after and will be, we need to find amount. If your English grammar is in perfect place, this chapter is an easy piece of cake for you. Let's take one more example. Let's say we are in 2020, the current year, and we are talking of 2025, the future. So under this situation, your 2020 is the principal and your future is the amount. Again, let's take another scenario where we talk of 2010 and the current year as 2020. Under this situation, this 2010 becomes principal and this 2020 becomes amount. Here I want you to see this 2020 under this situation, this same 2020 was taken as principal, and under this situation, the same 2020 was taken as amount. So depending on the situation, you'll get a principal and amount. If it's future, if you need to find the future, what will happen in the future, you need to find amount. If you need to find what happened in the past or history, you need to find principal. Again, let's be very much precise. Before is principal, and if it's future, you need to find amount. Thank you guys. Now I'll be solving some more questions. And I'm so sorry, it's a lockdown phase and I don't have an A4 size paper. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, let's go to page 171 and exercise 6.2, the first question. Let's read the question and let's try to understand the question. Oh my god, you can see I have a cracked screen. In this lockdown, I cannot get this repaired too. Okay, let's read question number 1. At present, the population of village of Palampura is 10,000. If the population is being increased at the rate of 3% every year, let us write by calculating the population after 2 years. Okay, let's try to understand the question. The present population of village is 10,000 and the question wants us to find the population after 2 years. Again, after 2 years. So that means I need to find amount because I need to find the population after 2 years. And again, if we read the question properly, we see that population is being increased. So after all, if it's an increment, we need to use a plus sign. So your 10,000 will be taken as principal. Your since it's increment plus sign, your rate is 3%, and we need to find the population after 2 years, which means we need to find amount. Let's solve this question. Okay, let's begin with question number 1. So the present population is given, that's 10,000. The rate is given 3% and it's increasing, and we need to find population after 2 years. So the present population is considered as P, and since we need to find population after 2 years, we need to find amount. Time is 2 years. So forget what's written in Nepali. I'll explain that. That's for my other school. So we know the formula. Write down the formula. Since we need to find amount, your A will remain as A only. We'll put the value of P as 10,000. Put the value of R as 3. Everything is same. Since I cannot cancel 3 and 100, let's go to the third step. 10,000 follows in the same way only. And then I need to take out LCM of 1 and 100, which will be 100. So 1 into 100 times is 100. 100 into 1 is 100. Plus 100 into 1 times is 100. And 1 into 3 is 3. So in the next step, it gets added. 100 plus 3 becomes 103 by 100. And then, I can see my camera trying to focus on the subject out here, and I can see it's getting blurred and it's becoming clear. So I hope when it's clear you all can grab it. So let's cancel the zeros, 2 zeros and 2 zeros that side, 2 zeros this side and 2 zeros that side. It gets cancelled, and then we multiply 103 into 103 into 1, which will end up with 10609. So this is how we solve question number 1. I believe there's nothing so complicated in this question. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's solve question number 3. The price of a machine in a leather factory depreciates. So it means decreases. So negative sign at the rate of 10% every year. If the present price of the machine is 1 lakh, let us calculate what will be the price of the machine after 3 years. Again, it says after 3 years. So we need to find amount. And the present value, which will be considered as principal, is 1 lakh. A very, very easy question. Let's solve it. The only reason why I'm doing this question is the value depreciates, which means decrease. Okay, let's begin. The present price of the machine is 1 lakh. The rate is 10%. Since it depreciates, I've written it out here, depreciate, so that we realize we need to put a negative sign, and we need to find price after 3 years. So we are talking about future. Find the amount. So time is 3 years. We put the formula. Here we have a negative sign because it's depreciating or decreasing. Amount stands as A only, and then we put the value of P as 1 lakh. 1 minus your R is 10 by 100. So since I can cancel 0 and 0, I cancel. Always, if there is a possibility to cancel, do cancel, so that the number becomes smaller. And then I come to this step. Then let's go to this step. Take out the LCM of 1 and 10, which will be 10. 1 into 10 times 10 into 1, 10. 10 into 1 times 1 into 1, 1. 10 minus 1 gets subtracted, 9 by 10. We need to make sure that we don't forget this time, which is 3 years. So if it's 3 years, it will be written 3 times. 9 into 10, 9 by 10 into 9 by 10 into 9 by 10. Cancel 3 zeros and cancel the zeros out here. 3 zeros this side and these zeros out here. I'm left with 9 into 9 into 9 and 100 out here. 9 into 9, 81. 81 into 9, 729. 729 into 1, 729. I have 2 zeros. Bring those 2 zeros. This is solved. So this will be the price of the machine, which is depreciating after 3 years. So here your amount is less. So amount will be less only under these kind of conditions. This is a real life situation. Amount can never be less when we are dealing with cash. So please put this question in your head properly. Thank you. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's move on to question number 4. As a result of Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, the students leaving the school before completion, the students are readmitted. So the students in a year is increased by 5%. Increase means a positive sign in comparison to its previous year. If the number of such readmitted students in a district be 3525 in the present year. Okay, in the present year, the number of students is 3528. 3528. Let us start by calculating the number of students readmitted 2 years before. I'm telling you, 2 years before. Now I'm talking of past. So if I'm talking about past, I need to find the principal. So here, your present year is, or the students admitted in the present year becomes your amount, while the question which tells you to find the number of students admitted 2 years before, you need to find principal. So let's solve question number 4. The language will tell us, see, it's before, and I've told you it's principal. Let's solve this. Okay, so students admitted in present year 3528. Rate is 5% increase, positive sign. Students admitted 2 years before. That means I need to find the principal. P equals to question mark time equals to 2 years. So we know the formula, put the formula, put the formula, and then let's put the values. This time we have amount is 3528. So 3528 in its own place, in the place of amount. And then let's put the value of R, which is 5 by 100. You can cancel it, always cancel it. 5 into 1 times, 5 into 20 times, we cancel, and then we reach this step out here. Take out the LCM of 1 and 20, which will be 20. 1 into 20 times, 20 into 1 is 20, plus 20 into 1 times 1 into 1 is 1. We can add, we'll have to add 21 by 20, and let's not forget the time, which is 2 years, which is out here outside the bracket, which means it's 2 times 21 by 20 into 21 by 20. After this, the students mostly they get confused because principal is on the right hand side and they are not used to with this kind of situation. So either you keep the principal here only and then let this 20 and 20 go up that side. Through cross multiplication, this 20 and 20 goes that side, and then this 21 and 21, since it's connected this way, it goes down. So we can say just through cross multiplication. So this 20 and this 20 goes up, and this 21 and 21 goes down. You do the cancellation, you'll get the answer. Or since I'm taking this one to the other side, let me just make this one to the other side and this one to the other side, left to the right and right to the left side. So I know sign changes will take place, but I do not, even if I do not mention those signs, it's fine. So after that step, I can go to this step. I can write it this way because students are mostly used to finding it in this particular way. So after that, your P will be here only. Again, this 20 and 20 will go up there, and this 21 and 21 will come down. Do the cancellation. I've shown it out here. Please do the cancellation yourself. Cancel with 7. 7 3s are 20. 7 into 3 times is 21. 7 5s are 35. 7 4s are 28. But remember, the number is very large. We need to put a 0 out here. So that only you do the cancellation, you'll end up with this answer, 3200. A very easy question. Let's move on to the next question. I'm sorry for my damaged screen. I've already told you I cannot change it. It's a lockdown time. The height of a tree increases at the rate of 20% every year. Again, increment plus sign. If the present height of the tree is 28.8 meter, let us calculate the height of the tree 2 years before. So we need to find what was the height 2 years before. Again, we need to find principal. And the reason why I'm doing this question is there is a decimal in this question, which is 28.8. So that's the reason why I'm doing this question, because I can see almost all the students, they start getting confused as soon as they see a decimal or point in the question. Okay, the present height of the tree is given, which is 28.8. Height 2 years before, we need to find principal. I've told you before means principal. And time is 2 years and your rate is 20%. I believe it's increment. I've not mentioned increase out here. You can write increase out here, which means a plus sign. So let's write down the formula which you know. We have a formula out here. And then let's put the value. Since amount is given 28.8, in amount's place, P stands here only. R is given to us 20 by 100 and time as 2 years. I've told you if you can cancel, always cancel. 0 and 0 gets cancelled. 2 ones are 2. 2 into 1, 2. 2 into 5 times is 10. So we come to this step. And then let's take out LCM again. So LCM is 5. 1 into 5 times. 5 into 1 is 5 plus 5 into 1 times. I think by now everyone can understand this. Okay, what happens this side is, let's remove the decimal from here. So as soon as I remove the decimal from here, 10 will come down. We all know this. We have learned this in class 7 and 8. So I hope you all know how this 10 comes. I'm not going to explain this. And then let's come out here. This one gets added 6 by 5. And remember, since time is 2 years, so this is under a bracket and this power is 2. So which means I need to write it 2 times. I've written it 2 times, and the same scenario like before. This 5 and 5 cross multiplied goes up there, and this 6 and 6 comes down out here. Do the cancellation, you'll end up with the answer 20. That's it, people. I think nothing so complicated. So I'll expect you all to do all the remaining questions yourself. I'm telling you, this is the easiest chapter you'll find in your book. So we just need to find the principal or amount. Just remember the language. Before, you need to find principal. If it's after, you need to find amount. If it's increase, use a plus sign. If it's decrease, use a negative sign. So please solve all the remaining questions of this chapter. and I'll be giving you my WhatsApp number. If you want these files, I'll send it through WhatsApp. Okay, take care people, stay home and stay safe.